I know some of you know this already, but I'm about to drop some knowledge, okay? So, multi-trillion-dollar economy. The United States is the biggest business in the world. An amalgamation of all these states, these different economies, different systems, judicial systems, exports, imports for days. Our logistics ground game, our logistics air game, sea game, excellent. One of the best in the world. Our economy, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, the US dollar, the Fed, interest rates, borrowing, bonds, okay? All these details, all these things that we sit there and we talk about. And you don't think that someone other than the president, above the president, is going to control all that stuff. That they're going to do all this stuff. Every single detail is monitored and managed. So what they are about to put us through is going to be intentional. Whatever hardships happen, what's going on in Indiana, they can fix that like that. He took out FEMA. FEMA doesn't operate. That money's going into his pocket somehow. FEMA doesn't operate like it used to. 3 states have blackouts right now. You don't think they can fix that in a second? Of course they can. Just like Mandami can fix a pothole or a building or whatever. You don't think they can. They can fix it in a second. But we are still living in this space of uncertainty and misunderstanding. We don't know what's going to happen. They know what's going to happen. It's all planned, all controlled. The president is a middleman. This is all intentional, guys. So remember that. As much as I rant about this guy, the bad representatives for this country, the Democrats are in on it, the Republicans are in on it. We're over here infighting about racism and who's fucking who and who's doing this. It's a big farce. It's a big ass farce, and they're loving the fact that we're in this space right now, loving it, because they get to profit. Whatever's about to happen, they know what's going to happen, because they want it to happen. They're forcing it to happen, and we're infighting instead of mobilizing and getting our shit together, stockpiling food, gas, generators, which we're doing. Come on, man, get your head out your ass. They're really, really laughing at us and loving it. They control us. We have to get out of this state of mind control and start thinking for ourselves.
This is something that I've been saying over and over and over again. Nobody wants to believe me. Nobody wants to give Tap, the after pill, his credit. This is literally controlled demolition. What have I been saying? There's people who are pulling the strings who are more powerful than Trump. There's people who are pulling the strings who are more powerful than Elon Musk. There's people who are pulling the strings, the actual puppet masters who are making things happen that are very intentional. Pay attention. There's no coincidence that a lot of these things are happening. There's no coincidence that all of these blackouts are happening. There's no coincidence. Hell, I would even take it as far to say there's no coincidence all of these earthquakes are simultaneously happening at the same time or around the same time frame. There is no coincidence. There's no coincidence that all of these safety nets are being eradicated. There's no coincidence that the food supply chain is literally being tainted. Something is happening. Right? And I'll tell you, one or two things are happening. Either we have our own government who are conspiring against us, and or, right, both of these things can be true at the same time, and or we have outside foreign entities, foreign governments who are poisoning that same food supply, or we have foreign entities within the United States who have been paid off, who look like the everyday Americans, who look like the everyday politicians. However, they work for these foreign entities, and indeed, they're spies. I have long said this. I have been ringing the alarm for the past 2 years. I said they're gonna, the powers that be, right? Because y'all for some reason think that the people at this point in time control the United States, that your voice is going to be heard, that your votes matter. Your votes don't matter, right? I don't care what you're talking about. Your votes don't matter, especially not when most of the running candidates are compromised. right? And we're not just talking about the left. We're not just talking about the right. We're talking about all the candidates are compromised. There is essentially nothing being done to make the everyday American life better at all. And it didn't start with the Trump administration. No. It didn't start with the Biden administration. No. It didn't start with the Obama administration. No. This started years and years ago. America officially started to go downhill after the 60s, 70s, and 80s. A lot of this stuff was already planned, right? A lot of these banks, right? The heads of these banks, the heads of these corporations, they already had a clue of what they wanted the world to look like. Not just the United States, but they already had a clue about what they wanted the world to look like eventually, right? They've already had a 50-year plan. They already had a 100-year plan, right? They passed those plans on along to their heirs, grandkids, and so on and so forth, cousins, whoever was within that lineage. They passed those plans off to them, and lo and behold, those plans are being carried out. Listen, when I speak of the collapse of America, it's not going to be just hell and brimstone. No, that's not how it's going to go. First and foremost, there's too much business in America. Right? There's way too much business in America. Americans are not the only ones who have business affairs here in America. Every country that you can think of, every Western, Eastern, powers, heirs, rich, whatever the case is, they have a stake in America, right? So they can't just bring America down. They can't just collapse America because, common sense. And if you know how the world economy works, the world will go into a dang on black age if that were to happen. The world will go into chaos if that would just happen just like that. No, they have to strategically do it, right? They have to strategically put up, some guardrails around certain things and boom, let's blow it up, right? Because if they just take it down, then this market goes down, this country goes down, right? China needs America just as much as America needs China. Right? These entities, foreign corporations, countries, they have real estate in the United States. You got to understand that these countries, they own debt, on the United States and vice versa, right? United States of America still holds the world's reserve currency. That still is important, right? Much of business many people still do business, many countries still do business with the USD, so it can't just go down. However, America can still hold whatever status it holds, right? Whatever status that is left while the people inside of it suffer. This is what a lot of people don't understand. This is what a lot of people can't wrap their heads around, right? They think that just because the majority of the citizens within the country are not doing so great, right? They think just because the majority of the citizens, are losing their homes, are struggling, so on and so forth, and a small minority, top 10, top 20% own basically everything from the stock market to real estate to businesses, right? They think that just because of that nothing, that the country has to fall. No, that's not true, right? The country can hold on to whatever is left while everything else within it is suffering. America can still be a subjectively rich country while everything else falls to the wayside, right? People can still do business in America, right? While everything else goes to the wayside, like the infrastructure, like the food, like the water. What I predict that will happen is they're going to separate. They're going to build borders within America. This is what I believe. I believe borders are going to be made within America. And you're either going to be on this side or you're going to be on that side. You're either going to have something going on, you're going to have some moolah, you're going to have some dinero, you're going to have some real estate, or you're not. And they're going to have to separate America.
Welcome to the afterpill.co, your one-stop shop hub for everything that I offer. Whether you're here to book a one-on-one coaching call, join the Patreon community, explore Horizon Atlas, your relocation app, or access my latest content and resources, you'll find it all right here. Choose your path, take action, and start building the life you want.
They're going to have to draw a great divide because the divide is going to be so freaking dramatic from who has something to who doesn't, that they're going to have to push people to certain areas, just like they did the Native Americans, right? Just exactly how they did the natives. They're going to push the people who have nothing to certain parts of the United States of America. And the people who do have something, right, they're going to be residing in one part of the country, right? And you kind of see it going on anyway, right? When you talk about places like LA, when you talk about places like Miami, New York, most major cities, they're already pushing people out, right? And then even if you were to live on the outskirts, it is still fairly expensive to live on the outskirts, especially if you need to have access to public transportation, especially if you need to have access of 30 to 45 minutes to get to the city because that's where you work, right? But more and more people are going to be pushed outside of where the riches lay. And then, of course, crime is going to get out of control, of course, right? Then, of course, homelessness is going to get out of control. Then, of course, food insecurity is going to get out of control. But they're doing it strategically, right? They're not doing it in a way that it to them it doesn't look chaotic, right? To them, it is very controlled, right? Nothing is a coincidence, right? To us, it may look all chaotic. It may look like, dang, do these people even know what they're doing? Do they even know what they're doing? How are they running the government like this? No. See, two things can happen. There could be two different universes to this, right? On one part of the universe, people can be very incompetent and idiotic, of course, right? You can accept that or not. But there's one side of the aisle where these people can absolutely be pretending to be complacent, pretending to be idiotic, but they work for the corporations, they work for foreign entities, and their whole job is to pretend like they don't know what's going on, pretend like they're, idiotic, but in reality, it is very strategic. In reality, they're moving very smart. In reality, they're just pocketing money. Well, and I've long said they're pocketing money. At this point, if you don't think, it's not even a matter of thinking that they're pocketing money. Insider trading is literally going on national television, right? Insider trading is literally going on national television. Trump is literally telling you, hey, this is what's going on. You might want to put your money there. I'm about to put my money there. Right? With the whole oil crisis, insider trading. Right? This is what's going on. The cat is out of the bag. The cat is out of the bag. Is that the saying? The cat is out of the bag? Y'all get what I'm saying. Right? None of this stuff is a secret anymore. Right? It's either you believe it or you don't. But for sure, everything is a strategy. For sure, they're making it seem like that they don't have a clue about what's going on, but in reality, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they want to accomplish. They know exactly how much money they want to make, and they know exactly who and what and where, all of it. Right? Don't be fooled. All of those flock cameras that they putting up, the mass surveillance, the data centers, much of what you see on the mainstream media is nothing more than noise. That's all that it is. It is nothing more than noise, right? To distract you from what's really going on, right? To distract you from the real money that's being made, right? Everybody's so distracted. Everybody's so complacent. Now that's what I know is the truth, right? The majority of the population is complacent, is dumb, right? And they've done a very good job at the dumbing down of America so people can't figure things out. And what they also do is just throw a bunch of Hail Marys, right? Throw a bunch of Hail Marys out there so you can't figure out where the ball is being tossed. They're just tossing it up, tossing balls everywhere. Pause, right? They're just tossing it. You can't figure out what's going on, right? You think it's over here. You think it's over there. You think this, you think that. Nah, in reality, it's just money being made. In reality, they just trying to prevent you from finding out what exactly is going on. In reality, they don't want you to have any money. In reality, they want to take all the money for themselves and their family and their lineage while you sit up here and think that somebody is coming to save you, right? They're strategically making a bunch of money. They're strategically doing it, right? And this is why I keep on telling y'all, y'all need to act in the same way, right? Because every man is for themselves right now. Every man is for themselves. Every family is for themselves. So you need to get in where you fit in. You need to find out how to get your hands on a piece of coin, right? You need to find out, do you got somebody in the inside? Can you get in touch with somebody in the inside to help you insider trading? Man, the cat's out the bag, man. Right? Everybody talking about dang on merit and all that stuff, man. Only idiots believe in merit. Only absolute fools believe in a merit-based anything. The world has never been merit-based at all. Nothing is merit-based. Are you crazy? Are you a lunatic? No. If you want something in this world, you got to go and get it. You got to go and take it. Anybody that's telling you anything otherwise is an absolute liar. And that's an after pill. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit that link in the description. Check out the website. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Listen, the after pill is the ideology. The escape blueprint is the framework. And PFP life is how you should live. In purpose, in freedom, and in power. See you on the next one.
Welcome to the afterpill.co, your one-stop shop hub for everything that I offer. Whether you're here to book a one-on-one coaching call, join the Patreon community, explore Horizon Atlas, your relocation app, or access my latest content and resources, you'll find it all right here. Choose your path, take action, and start building the life you want.